Alright, so good morning, and this one's going to be relatively quick. This strut assembly comes off of a 2015 Honda Civic. The left front corner was in a collision, and I guess the shock strut assembly had been replaced, but it had a noise, like a spring pop noise, if it sat for a while when you turn the steering wheel. So what the technician who looked at this opted to do was to change the whole strut assembly in the end that was damaged internally, and now we're finding out what's really going on. So if you look here, I don't know if you can see it well enough, right here, put my finger on it. Okay, it's what's called a bearing. It goes in between the mount. This is the bearing surface for the McPherson strut to turn, because with McPherson struts the whole shock assembly turns. It's bolted to the knuckle. I'll show you the shock here. I've already got it out, but I noticed something because since I'm putting it together, this is the shock, and so that bolts to the steering knuckle, and then the whole thing turns and pivots, while the mount up top is bolted to the body, so the chassis. So we need a bearing surface. And if you look at the diagram here, the bearing there, I don't know if you guys can see its orientation. The light side is up top. Whoever installed that got the light side upside down. It's supposed to install like this. So, being installed incorrectly, that lower black piece is supposed to go into the top part of the spring assembly. And obviously now, because it's not, perhaps there is some movement or whatever when you first turn it. But yeah, so this was a misassembly problem that led to a noise complaint, and well, we'll see how it goes. I do believe at some point flipping that over and putting it back on the car will alleviate the problem, saving the necessity for all these parts. So win for the customer that this was found early enough. But yeah, just a little nugget out there: when you're reassembling things, where possible, try and get an assembly diagram like this, or pay attention, not to the way it comes off. I mean, if you know you're not the first person there, if I try to put this back together based on what I saw, we still would have the same problem. So, alright, thanks for watching. Let's see how far I can get with this. My initial intention was to, let's see what we can do here for audio. My initial intention was just to fix the problem and then send it on its way, but I figured it's a strut assembly. For the most part, it was already disassembled, I think, so from looking for the noise, nobody really caught the fact that the bearing was upside down. You can see that there. It's installed upside down. The gray part should be up towards the actual mount. So what we're going to do is we're going to reinstall it. So I have a new spring, because no one knew where the noise is coming from, and this is like a sleeve for the shock. The top of the spring threads in it, so I'm just show you that there. Alright, so the top of the spring will thread in it like so, and there's a stop, so it's oriented correctly. You may notice some shmoo in here. That's actually this stuff, if I can find it. Alright, so Hunnit, okay, it's a silicone-based grease. I'm sure there's probably other different brands, but that's what I have on hand. And basically, why I put that there is because the lower side of the bearing sits in the top of that perch like that. So, in so much as there's a bearing in there, I want to make sure that there is no friction-related noises. And we're going to use a spring compressor here. So I'm going to set it up one-handed. Now, when I get to the actual compression, I'm probably going to have to find some way to set you guys down so you can see the action. I think there's room to do that here. Alright. So teetering, hopefully I don't knock you guys over, you can see. But basically here's what we're going to be up to. I'm going to square the spring and the perches as best I can. And there's something else that I need to show you in the way of orientation. So each of these forward legs here. Oops, see that? Yeah, so I might need some assistance. Each one of these forward legs slides in and out depending on the diameter of the spring, and you can use this screw adjustment for height depending on the coils that you have. One thing I'm going to run into now, and I might need to grab a pair of vice grips, locking pliers, to hold the spring in here. Something I might do that might help me in a second. I'll put the mount in here. Something you guys may or may not be able to catch. There's an arrow stamped into the top here. It's right there. That arrow points towards the front of the car. So I'm going to orient the strut in it to make sure. I can always turn that because it's on top of the bearing. There are 3 fingers that are attached to this pivot piece up here, and I'm just going to put them in between the studs. Get as much height as I can from the springs because I want to maximize my compression as much as possible. So the reason for this is because I want to compress the spring as far as I can with as minimal, I'm trying to center it so the spring is as straight up and down as possible. All right. I want as few turns. Oops. See who that is. All right. Can't take that call right now. Oops. Perfect. All right. So what I did end the call. Sorry for that. All right. Hopefully you guys can still see. All right. So this is kind of dangerous. I should go get my safety glasses. Let's pause this, and I'll bring you guys right back. Through the magic of editing, I am back. Oh, great. All right. Don't know that you guys can see. I'd like you to see there. I'd like you to see most of what I'm working with here. Let's see. Pardon the junk. This is not working. Let me pause this and get you guys a good vantage that I can see. Okay, that seems to be great. So, got my safety glasses on, and what I'm going to do now, the object is that the spring height, I have a new strut here, if I can't cut off the box. Brand new. Get away from me there. So here's what I'm going to do. Brand new strut. So the top of the mount there bolts here. All right, there's a nut that'll come through the center of it there, and it'll bolt it down here. And this spring's free height is obviously taller than this. So we compress it so that it'll fit in there. That way the tension is what absorbs the, first of all, holds the weight of the car, and then absorbs the initial impact while the strut dampens the release of the energy, slows it down. So, all right, so what I'm going to do now, set this down, and I'm going to attempt, now this machine is relatively dangerous and safe at the same time. As long as you follow the precautions necessary, you should be all right. I like to keep my face away from where I think damage might occur, so I'm trying to keep my face somewhere around here. In the event that the spring decides that it wants to leave us. Also, this is working kind of well because I want the spring to be as square as possible. For that purpose, I mean, all right, so my arrow is pointing in this general direction. So this is the front of the car, this is the left strut. The knuckle bolt here, which is the side of the car, so I'm going to angle that way. And there is a perch, a spring perch here, okay? So ultimately, since the top of the mount can spin and rotate, I don't really have to worry about its orientation until I'm getting ready to install it on the car. What's important is that all the perches and indexes line up. So like the index for the top of the spring in the top spring mount, and then the lower spring and the perch on the strut, they need to line up. And so the end of the spring is down here and the perch is right there, so I'm going to line that up. If I need to rotate the mount for the arrow to point to the front, I will do that later. And I'm going to, this should, oh look, this bump stop is supposed to go in the bottom of that. Unfortunately now, the shroud is obscuring my vision of it, and because it snaps in, I would normally let it ride with the shock, but I wouldn't be sure that it snapped in. So, I have a choice. I can try and finagle it up there, but I don't trust that the spring will not release its energy all at once. And so we'll take this tension off. Bump stop's kind of critical because if there is some undulation, some bump that the vehicle hits that causes full extension, or I'm sorry, full depression of the spring, then we need some way for it not to bottom out. And the bump stop is our last bastion of defense. So I'm going to put the fingers back to touching the top of the strut mount. Get me kind of centered in there. Alright, the squarer you are when you start. Now this isn't true for all springs. Depending on how they're wound, they kind of want to keel over when you compress them. I'm going to try and hold this in place while I compress it. Make sure that nothing is moved here. Alright, spring is still in its perch. I would stop. So, the idea being that once I get this, look, it's turning on me. So, here's what I'm going to do. It's turning. I'm going to go get a pair of vice grips. That way, the vice grips will clamp onto the spring there. Not too tight, probably put a rag around or something so it doesn't. There's lamination on the outside of the spring to prevent rust. I don't want to break through that. Let me get a pair of vice grips and we'll always seem to be running out of memory, battery, or something. So here's my vice grips. Put a rag around the spring right there. Clamp down really, really snug. That way it doesn't go anywhere. I don't think I'll have too much trouble with that. But I want to make sure where I do attach is not in my way. I don't want to trap the rag in between the spring and the strut perch. So. Alright, so that's going to stay there. This won't move now. I really have to bear down on it. That's a lot of tension, but cars do weigh a lot. So that's about alright, so I hear movement. So I'm always nervous when I get to this part of it, only because it's like a big old bear trap. So we've got our bushing, and I've got to find. Alright. Going. Tempted to look into the eye of the storm here. I missed it. I can tell I'm off to this side. Alright. I think I'm there now. I can barely see the top. Rotate this so the struts lined up with the spring. Oh man, this needs a lot of compression. I don't like it. Really don't. Just gonna get enough to secure, get the nut on here to trap the spring. That way, when she does decide to come apart, I'm not in the way. Now, hopefully, this doesn't cut out while I'm talking to you guys. Alright, so now that I've got the nut on there, I'm going to turn it a little bit more. Got it good. Compress some more. Get the strut way up. Alright, and that's it. So now the spring is still compressed. I can rotate the strut a little bit, get it to line up with the spring perch at the bottom. I don't like the way this is lining up. I don't because oh, okay. See how the spring wanted to be kind of crooked? Because it was crooked, the spring was kind of sitting up. It didn't like line up with the perch. And now that there's tension off of it and the spring has gone into its freestanding position, that lip laid down. So I'm done. Now, can we do this without this machine? Yes, but like you saw, a lot of tension stored up in that strut. And this is the part that I was worried about here. So I can get you guys to see in there. You can see where the spring, all right, it stopped, lined up in the perch there. It was pointing above it until I let the tension out. But we're good to go now. The strut will bolt to the knuckle there, and my arrow is pointing somewhat to the front, so my hold should line up with the body, and we'll put this on later. All right, so there'll be a continuation of this, but I'm the last man standing here this evening. Everybody's gone because it's a snow day. So thank you guys for watching. I hope it's still recording. See you again soon.